Hi guys, welcome back to Journey Teachers. So today we have Kavach Khanna with us. How are you doing, Kavach?
I'm doing absolutely fine, Kriti. Thank you so much for having me here.
Thank you so much. It's my humble pleasure as well. So everybody watching this, especially the students, everybody knows about Kavach. I'm sure everybody has been following his work for sure for college guidance, admissions, everything around. So we'll be discussing a lot based on that today. So let's begin with the very first question. How for you did the journey of becoming a college influencer actually started?
I mean, Kriti, college influencer it's a big deal. I still don't call myself that. I mean, yeah, I have used that term, but honestly, it was just lockdown, and that just was a big catalyst to my career. I was just absolutely very free, had nothing to do, and just like any senior of any college, you would get requests from people who are looking forward to that college, like, भैया कैसे करे, क्या हुआ है, क्या करना है. And that's what I thought. I mean, we every year, both me and my sister, because we're from the same college, we used to get a lot of requests. And this time, I was just like, hey, you know what? I think I should just make a video and share it with people because, I mean, everything that I'm telling to people is absolutely the same, in terms of dress code or this, that. So I was like, okay. So I just put out that video and that video blew. And then suddenly there were so many questions under that video that, hey, how do we do this? How do we do that? And I was like, cool, okay, you know what? I'll just pick up every point that they have said and I'll make a video on it, 5 minutes, 7 minutes. Then suddenly, 30 days into it, I realized there are 45 videos on it for on my channel, and the channel grew. It already had like more than 1,000 subscribers, which is honestly a very big deal for what I was talking about at that time. So yeah, as just happened, people were loving what I was saying. People really liked the organic approach that I had. I don't use a lot of fancy edits or heavy music. It is just me talking and sharing my experience or talking about information which I feel is super important. And love of people grew, and that's how it's become to what it is today.
Definitely, and the videos you make are really informative and they surely help a lot of students, including me. So it really hats off to what you are doing.
Thank you so much, Kriti.
Okay, so moving on to the next question. What are some of the challenges that you faced while creating video content around colleges? As there's always a challenge to put the raw, hard, real truth out there.
Yeah, I mean, the latter half for me was not a challenge. Like, so speaking the truth was not a challenge because that's all I've been doing, all this while. But the first half, which is how to find that truth information, was a challenge initially, specifically when I moved out of my comfort zone of just not talking about one college, but other colleges as well. Luckily, Kriti, during my college journey, I was like a go getter. So that means I had almost represented Christ to various colleges. So I had been to IIT Bombay thrice in 3 years. I had been to Symbiosis multiple times. I had been to Nalsar in Hyderabad. So I've been to NUJS in Kolkata, St. Xavier's in Kolkata. In just in my 3 years of journey, and I've been to so many local colleges in Bangalore. So I knew the vibe around. I luckily had made a lot of networks there. So still at that time also it was fine talking about those colleges. But the moment I grew further than that, finding authentic real information was definitely number one challenge that I faced. The way that I try to overcome again through my personal beliefs, like I never read Quora. Okay, because I just feel that some of it is very sponsored, some of it is not organic, some of it is very outdated. So
Right.
like you would see like the first comment that would come is like of 2006, whereas a particular university or a course has changed from 2006 to like 2021 or 22. So that's why I did not, I just had policy that okay, I'll not go through that. Plus a lot of the information that was available online, like with a lot of popular sites also that come up on first whenever we search on a college on Google, were a lot was sponsored, a lot, even though forget about sponsorship, it was not very real. Some of them were quoting wrong admission fees, wrong dates, wrong procedure. So the best way I thought that okay, let me take the harder way. So I tried reaching out to current students, and not one, not two, at least like 4 or 5 before I made one video. And that is what again students, the videos that I put out, students really started liking that. That okay, this is where we get like real information, organic information, and these are the things that we want somebody to talk about. So that I mean, finding that information was definitely a challenge.
Definitely, it requires a lot of research and actually reaching out to the students who are studying there in order to get the real information from them as to what is exactly happening in the college scenario.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Also, I think one another challenge that I think was putting my opinion forward. Now, a lot of not people were not okay with it, because some websites will say, hey, this is the best college, so why aren't you saying that this is the best? And I might have different reasoning. So telling everybody that, hey boss, this is my channel, this is my opinion, so if you like this, you watch this. If not, so that was also a challenge initially. But now, I mean, under every video I have a disclaimer that, see, this is my opinion, and opinions can differ. You can have your opinion based on your research, which is absolutely fine, and I totally respect it. And likewise, everybody else has their opinion. So initially, I mean, back in 2020, not a lot of people were used to opinion form, but now I think everybody is okay. And we have different influencers, educators, creators talking about different aspects from different perspectives, and everybody respects that.
Definitely, definitely. We have a lot of people actually, sharing their opinions about the things that they like or they want to share about, and it's totally okay with everyone. Yeah,
Yeah.
okay. So, how did you think of approaching colleges and universities for the vlogs as well that we see on your channel recently and understand their admission process is better? How difficult was it to actually pitch and reach out to them?
Uh, I mean, so answer was twofold. Few of the universities basically reached out, and in fact few of the students of the universities reached out, because so they had been watching videos. So like, we call them super fans, but and they truly are, because they've watched my videos. Now they've gone to some other college, and they have convinced the management that, what, you should have Kavash, and let him, how about just allow him to take a campus tour. So a lot of it was that. A lot of it was that even the faculty members, the people from the management of the university, have watched my channel, and they've reached out to me that, hey, you're doing absolutely great work, even though we have nothing to do with the universities that you're talking about or whatever. We really love your channel and everything, so why don't you come here and shoot and see what is there for our campus and what we are offering to our students. So a lot of it was that. A lot of it, in fact, was through my comment section. So I read a lot of comments, okay, whatever come under my videos, and they'll be like, hey, talk about this video, this university, talk about that university. So I would just drop in an email that, hey, if you allow us, could we just visit the university and talk to the students? And so few of them allow, few of them also don't allow, because they feel that we are doing, I mean, they're not very okay with, like, somebody else talking about it, or any of that. So they'll be like, sorry, we don't believe in these things, and all that. And some of them will be very humble, they'll go through the channel and be like, you're most welcome, so please drop by and let us know how we can help you with hospitality, and we'd love to host you. So I mean, this is the way that we've been working till now.
Right, and mostly through my observation as well, I've seen you covering only the private colleges. So, what about the others as well?
So I mean, government colleges we would be doing right now, but the thing is, they don't reply to emails. Likewise, even though the current students have reached out to the government management, they have kind of, like, just shun it away or put them through a process where, no, like, even as a super fan, you wouldn't want to put in so much effort to just get, like, somebody to the university, right? So they'll be like, hey, we tried, but all that. But now we have been getting a lot of requests from the government as well, and more or less it has been to about to address the students, to talk to them about your journey of content creation, about entrepreneurship, about startups in general, and whatever you would have. So different, like, there's a marketing department, e-cell of a university, PR department, some startup club. They have been giving me a lot of invites lately. So I have been getting that, why don't you come here and speak, why don't you become a judge here, and we would love to have you. So I've been getting that, but I mean, some of them I'm able to go, some of them I'm not able to go because of my distance. So let's see. Like, I think I'm pretty sure I'll have a lot of them coming in this year as well.
Definitely, such opportunities are able to come through your way through the content which you are sharing and helping people. So I really think that opportunities do come at their own pace with respect to the
Right.
colleges and the students you are guiding through.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, okay. So, don't you think that there's an issue covering all the colleges where you have to state your, neutral opinion as well based on what others say instead of you being yourself there?
Honestly, so like I said, I've tried to cover the fact of me not being there by number one, visiting the universities, talking to the faculty members, reaching out to the current students. So that is not the problem. Plus, whenever I am like, I mean, making a college review per se, or just talking about admission process procedure, I never think whether I'm going neutral or going pro or going. I just have what I have to say. So like if there are some advantages, I would say that hey, this university is really very good for this, and I'll also say that hey, this university is very bad for that too. So likewise I put in whatever I feel is fine, and I always whenever I'm making a video, I always just think that okay, if I am going to be joining this university, in my head what am I going to look at, like these are the pros and these are the cons, because I am a very pro con person. So whatever decision that I have to make, I'll always have like a pros list and a cons list. So I just put that forward. Likewise, it's on. See, nobody can honestly telling Kriti, nobody can really influence. Like I can never be someone that hey Kriti, you join XYZ ABC University. I cannot do that, and nobody in fact has the power to do it. Not even your parents. Even though parents will guide you that hey Kriti, we think that you should study in Delhi or you should study in Amritsar, but you would do whatever you really feel is right. And you would listen to multiple people's opinion. That could be your cousins, that could be again mentors like us, educators, your faculty members in school, or in your college. So likewise, I am just a part of that, and I put it forward. Why people watch me or listen to me is because they like what I feel. And whenever, in fact, a lot of it resonates. So I have seen so many students coming back to me and saying that hey, whatever the points that you said was also what similar to what I was thinking. So thank you. I have more belief in what I feel now.
Definitely, absolutely. Thinking from a student's perspective, actually, what the student wants to see while deciding a particular college, when you put out those points, it really resonates and it really is helpful.
Right.
Okay. So, what are the most important things one should keep in mind before starting to apply to a particular college or university in India, or even if we talk about abroad education?
Yeah, so I mean, there are multiple factors that come into the place. Number one is going to be your list in terms of convenience, like factors like which is not in my hand, like cost. I mean, everybody comes from a different economic background, and everybody set aside a fund that they would want to invest, whether it's for their undergrad or their postgrad. So a lot of bifurcation happens on the amount of money that you would want to invest. If somebody has a 30,000, then they can only look at colleges in 30,000, and if somebody has like 3 lakhs, then they can look in colleges that come under 3 lakhs. Likewise, for 30 lakhs, there's a different list. So naturally, that bifurcation happens. Now, under this list, how do you shortlist is on the factors like definitely value, brand, return on investment, placements, how is the faculty, how is the life, quality of education. Exposure is very important. So, what kind of exposure you are getting, super important that is. At the same time, the city that you would want to be. I mean, I have seen so many talented students, but one of the biggest criteria they have is that hey, we are not willing to move out of our own city, and that is again because of parents' pressure or whatever. So likewise, then you have to look in that circle, or a lot of people from north don't want to move to south, from south don't want to move to north, and likewise even for India and abroad, a lot of the people are okay with moving to Canada, but not okay to be moving to like UK or US. And again, a lot of policies of H1B and all come into the picture there. So these are the criteria that I have. But lastly, that another one of the most important things that I always say is that what are your expectations? So you should look at a university from what you are basically looking at from your life. If some, because I mean, every university is not perfect. A lot of, and in fact every university also has good amount of disadvantages. For some that could be money, for some that could be faculty, some that could be course curriculum. For some, course curriculum is very outdated, and for some curriculum it's very new but at the same time super hectic. So you really have to decide on how much time you're willing to devote in, and whether you're looking to be like a little more heavy on extracurriculars or academics. So there are multiple factors and permutations and combinations that you really should look at. So it's not like one size fits all.
Definitely, it varies according to the individual and it's very subjective according to one's own choice, considering all of these factors related to college, placement, everything. Okay.
Right.
So, any quick tips for the students as well to keep in mind while preparing for the entrance test or the interview?
Honestly, quick tips would be to please understand the university and understand the exam pattern and procedure. Because I mean, from the face of it, all the entrance look the same. But if you go deep down, we know, whether this entrance has very heavy on quants or whether heavy on GK, or some of them don't even have a different sections. So understand the procedure and the pattern, number one. Number two, put in the effort. Like, just it's not always just about coaching or paying money to this institute, that institute, taking online classes. It's a lot about self study. So I would really suggest that to people, that rather than wavering their mind or paying money here there, lock yourself in the room, look in front of the material that you have, and start doing self study. Super important. Thirdly, focus on fundamentals. All these entrance tests, whether it's for undergrad or postgrad, even if it is CAT or NMAT or whatever, GMAT, they're all targeting fundamentals. So fundamentals of your verbal, fundamentals of your quants, fundamental of your logical reasoning or critical reasoning, whatever is there in your particular pattern. So focus on that. And I think a lot can be done away with, like, if you're generally doing the self study. In terms of interview, I would say here a lot of factors come into the picture. So from your body language to your confidence to your communication style to the knowledge that you have, your past experience, and to whatever your long-term goals are, all of it is important, from your technical knowledge to understanding, what kind of path you would want to lead, and what you are expecting out of the university. So, I mean, a lot of things come in, but yeah, taking mocks would surely help.
And according to you, how much time before should one start preparing for all of these things?
Kriti, there is no one size fits all here, as well, because I have seen so many students preparing for 6 months and not making it through, and there are people who prepared for 10 days and have made it through. Likewise, there are people who've done it last moment and been rejected all rounds, and there are people who have been preparing for a while and have actually aced it. So it really depends on aptitude, now, because everybody's got their own pace of learning, and aptitude is one such thing which is not like, ratification. You just can't cram it up. It's not like your 11th and 12th is, I mean, to quoting it, like in ours we had like commerce and economics, we could just ratify it and give it up. It's more of practical, so you have to put in the effort, and you have to see whether, if somebody is really very sharp with aptitude, then they don't need a lot of time, maybe 2 months, 3 months, or even 10 days. And if you're not very good at it and you still want to do well, so you have to be, doing it a little before, like 4 5 months at least.
Absolutely. And along with aptitude, I think practice can also, eventually enhance your results.
Yes, exactly. So if you know that you are weak at it, then you start early and cover all your loopholes and, put it up and make it a smooth way.
Definitely. Okay, so how many colleges should one apply to, and like what should one do if one is rejected?
I mean, if one is rejected, that's a separate cup of tea altogether. But initially, I would just say, see, there is, again, at the end of the day, everybody has to understand that you're going to be joining only one college. Okay. But as humans, we love creating options for ourselves. And, we love being on a table where we have multiple options and we have to decide, rather than begging and, waiting for one university to turn us in. So, however, I always suggest, even when people are seeing me personally for my personal guidance and doubting, I always say that, you should have different buckets. So there has to be one bucket of dream colleges. These are like the ones that are hard to get into but are absolute dream, and you would go in for these. Then there is a medium level colleges which are not like tough as dream colleges but are not like, any, you would get admitted. So that becomes the second bucket that we have. And third bucket that we have is safe colleges, which are like the ones where we know, we are going to get admission whatsoever. So likewise, so have 2 to 3 in each of these buckets, so that, and then target it accordingly. So dream is where, we know we have to put in effort. Safe, we know we are getting it through. Medium, we know we'll see of how it happens. So likewise, that's how you should plan it up.
Definitely, it's sounding like plan A, B, and C, where you have your
Right.
dream college sorted and the other colleges which you can eventually get into with some amount of practice and aptitude.
Right.
Okay. So, what are your thoughts on should one be doing masters or sitting in college placements and even looks for job outside? I know it's very subjective, but just a general overview onto how this decision should be taken into consideration, and what have you seen mostly in the amount of students audience with you, which you deal with?
Honestly, so like, like you very rightly said, it's very, very subjective. It depends on so many factors, like specifically parents, age. Like for a lot of girls that we speak to personally, they're like, after undergrad, we have to do our masters because we are running on a timeline. That is there. And likewise, even for boys, a lot of people who want to get back to their family business, or even for girls who want to get back to family business, they want to get done with their education as soon as possible. So that's why immediately after their undergrad, they take the leap to their masters or, MBA or MIMs or any of the PGDM courses, get that done, and then head wherever. So it really depends. But honestly, this trend has been changing a lot from past so many years. In abroad, we know the trend already. It is always that after undergrad, people work. They don't have, like, they directly get into the crux of it, whether it's a corporate life, startup world, or entrepreneurship, whatever it is, they work. And then later on, 5 6 years down the line, they look at a master's or PGDMs or MBAs. That's the common general trend. I know I'm really generalizing it. Really, also, that there are also a lot of different things that are happening abroad. In India, a lot of it was just after undergrad was directly masters, but now even this is changing, and I'm seeing a lot of people, looking at work experience, looking at corporate life, looking at startups, and then later on deciding whether they would want to go for an MBA or not. So it really depends on person to person. However, if I have to give my opinion on it, I would really suggest people to work for a couple of years, then take a call of whether they would want to do a master's or not. Why I feel like that is because I feel that it brings in a lot of clarity in mind. So even if you're going for a higher education later, India or abroad or MBA or whatever other course, you know what the life that you've lived and what are your do's and don'ts. So you understand that, hey, these were the things that I was doing. I liked it, so I love to do more, or I didn't like it, so I would love to switch it. A lot of people who are directly jumping, they lack that real world clarity sometimes. So that is one thing why I would suggest people to work. Secondly, is with the whole boom on entrepreneurship in the world of startup, the only like suggestion that everybody has is that the earlier you get started, the better it is. So that is the reason I would suggest that. But again, there is no harm in doing your masters or MBA immediately after your undergrad, because that also has its own set of advantages.
You do you, whatever you feel like, whatever the best option for you is, you can choose accordingly, whether it's masters or working in a job for that kind of exposure and experience. So it's depending on oneself, absolutely. Okay. So lastly, any concluding remarks that could be helpful for the 2023 intake students, the fresh admissions, and for the students just beginning to get started with their college life?
For the people who have just started with their college life, honestly, I'll be telling them to please have fun. Lately, like a lot of people that we are talking to seem super depressed about their life, and they seem to have missed the boat already. So I would just say that, hey, your life is just starting, so please make the most of it. Experiment with your life, fail as much as you can, make as many mistakes as you can, and really take this as a learning journey rather than a race to finish line. So enjoy the process. Would be for the people who are going to be joining the college life. For the ones who are preparing, I would just be like, be thorough with whatever you're doing, be clear with what you want and what kind of colleges or courses that you're looking at, because the more clear you are with your decision, most likely you're going to land up to what you're really thinking. So have clarity in mind, and yeah, take this as it comes.
Definitely, a lot of opportunities and a lot of things are in store for you when you enter your college life, and just make the most out of it. Okay.
Right.
So, Kavach, you want to talk about your personal sessions, your guidance sessions, anything?
No, I mean, it's all great. They can definitely find me on Instagram, on YouTube, on LinkedIn, and reach out if they have anything. And likewise, my channel, like we've been talking about, provides in a lot of information about courses, colleges, campus tours, vlogs. So yeah, do give it, do have a look at it.
Definitely. I will also drop the links in the description below, and definitely reach out to Kavach, because a one-on-one session with him will really be helpful. And you will have a great practice with him for sure. Okay, so thank you so much, Kavach, for coming here and joining me for
Uh,
talking about the college
ple-
admissions and the tips. It was wonderful.
Pleasure's all mine, Kriti. I mean, we've been talking for the second time now. I met you on the campus at Christ University in Bangalore when I was in Bangalore. So thank you so much. You were one of the most polite people that I've met, and it was honestly a very big pleasure to be here and talk to you.
Thank you so much. Likewise.